else could we possibly see?
Great inside ball there. Driven towards the touchline. Bring it infield on a fourth international now. Good ball there to Chan.
Space has been found. Just going to go all the way under the post. Japan are well-deserving champions of Asia Rugby Women's Championship.
From Nishimura, playing her first game in this tournament. A great inside ball there.
A few meters outside, crash ball through. And
making the Kazakhstan team play away there. Oh, Japan famous. Oh, great charge down there. And that is try number 2.
There's space out left. Finds the hands of 13 Becker.
Oh, and a good take in the middle there. The left Japan. Not panicking here. Pretty good tactical move there. Ball off the top as Kim doubles round and could easily have blown that. Oh, and a great show of the ball there by Ando.
Will be the replacement, Megumi Abe. What else could we possibly see? Perhaps.
Oh, good take there.
Kazakhstani.
Everybody's on side and the Kazakhstan. Rohan Nagata.
You just need to take it yourself, Captain Rohan Nagata.
It's a rivalry dating back to 2005. They met 10 times in history. Kazakhstan won the first 7 encounters. Japan have won the last 3, dating back a decade. In fact, Kazakhstan haven't scored a point since 2015 in this match. But this is the refreshed 23 to take on that challenge here in Fukuoka today. And there's a number of dual 7s and 15s internationals and 5 who played at the 2014 Rugby World Cup. 3 cities, Almaty, Taldykorgan and Konstanay, are well represented, with the major club of Asia Port City of Almaty the dominant force amongst the 23. Yelena Yurova, wearing 1 at loosehead prop, is the last Kazakhstan player to score against Japan. Came here in Fukuoka 10 years ago. And on the other side of the scrum is her captain, Natalia Kamendrovskaya, one of those 5 who featured in the 2014.
The 7s program is running, so 3 weeks ago we started with the 15s program. We were lucky enough to go to Georgia for 2 weeks and play against their national team, so that helped us because we don't play a lot of 15s. Well, as we know, Japan is very strong compared to us, but we're looking to be better than the last year. We also want to go out and compete for the whole 80 minutes. Like, this is the only time they get to play 15s rugby, so they're really looking forward to it. We've been working hard, so hopefully everything comes together on the field.
Playing at the AsiaRugby Emirates Championship means a lot for the women's national team. Big, great opportunity. We had a 2-week preparation in Georgia. We played 2 games with the Georgian women's national team. It was a really good opportunity for us to show how 15s works for the young girls who's playing for the first time. A good 2 weeks for us. The atmosphere in our team was really good. Sometimes for me it's really weird how such young girls can talk, have fun with much older girls. But yeah, I think that one of the most important things in our team, that we all working together, having fun together, and trying to be really, really close to each other.
Rugby World Cup. For the Sakura 15, it is very much a sense of giving youth a chance. Only 3 in the starting lineup are aged 25 or over, and some of the big names that Sakura fans will be used to, like Seno Sato and Iroha Nagata, the normal captain, are absent today. But in place are the likes of Sakurako Korai, who captains Japan for the very first time from blindside flanker, and she has Sakura Mizutani at number 8, who is the only debutant in the starting lineup, though there are 4 primed and ready to come from the bench. Ayasa Otsuka wears the 10 jersey. She's the most experienced with 32 caps, but outside her she has the emerging gift of Nana Taricado. Her first test start, and she will be purring, having scored the match-sealing try on debut against the USA. Well, that's maiden victory.
The Asia Rugby Championship is incredibly important for us, probably never more so than this year in terms of how we prepare ourselves for a World Cup. So as the Asian representatives in England, we want to put our best foot forward, we want to put our best game forward, and to do that we need a full squad that's prepared to play and compete. And so just coming off the back of a tour against the Eagles where we had some training games, but we also played 1 test, to have an opportunity to play 2 more internationals so quickly allows us to build depth in the squad, a deeper understanding of how we play, what we want to show the world this year.
So when we played against the US in Japan, we have unfortunately lost 2 games in Japan as well. So I was really disappointed. However, though, the win this time, we owe it not just to the players who traveled to the US, but also all the players in the team who we trained with at the camp in Japan thus far as well. By getting the result, when I heard the full-time whistle, there was a lot of mixed emotions in my head.
Well, the competition, which also includes Hong Kong, China, will be taking place over the next 10 days at Japan's purpose-built high-performance centre just outside Fukuoka on
Emirates
Japan's southern island
Women's Championship
of Kyushu.
2025. Let's welcome the teams onto the field. Sakura 15 and Kazakhstan. 両チーム選手の入場です。
And now we welcome the sides. Kazakhstan on the left in their distinctive turquoise kit with yellow detail, and Japan shunning the iconic Brave Blossom red and white hoops to stride out in their change kit of deep blue. Kazakhstan has been a program disrupted in recent years. They were a dominant force in Rugby Asia in the embryonic days of the championship, and put a lot of weight into sevens across recent times, but they are looking to re-emerge, though come here playing just their 13th test since the turn of the decade. Japan, no doubt about it, despite the disappointing results of 2024, are a rugby nation on the rise. You just have to look at the near misses against Scotland, Wales and South Africa in WXV2, and that victory against the USA to tell you all you need to know about their trajectory as an international nation.
試合に先立ちまして、両国の国歌の斉唱を行います。ご来場の皆様、ご起立ください。 please rise for the national anthems. はじめにカザフスタン国歌です。First, the national anthem of Kazakhstan. The national anthem of Japan.さあ、まもなくキックオフとなります。選手たちへのご声援で後押しをお願いいたします。
The perspiration on the faces of the Japanese players there at the conclusion of their very moving anthem just gives an indication of the steamy conditions that they're set to encounter here in Fukuoka, and Sunny Lee is charged with keeping the peace out on the field today. Her test debut actually came in this very fixture last year. Been cutting her teeth on the World Rugby 7 series in recent times. She's got a good officiating team around her as Kazakhstan prepare to take on their first official test of 2025. They beat Georgia in consecutive weeks in Kutaisi. An aggregate score of 79-5. Their first wins since October 2023 after down in Kenya in stunning fashion at WXV3. So they're a nation shorn of international minutes, but not of ambition. The Asia Rugby Emirates Women's Championship 2025 is underway. Kazakhstan have early field position from a penalty, and they tap and they go and they barrel forward. Wonderful intent from the women in turquoise. But the captain is forced to hold on with her teammates not quite on the same wavelength, and Natalia Kemendrovskaya sees an early opportunity wrest from her grasp. Well, it's a good carry. But look at the jackling work. It was precise and tight on the ball there from Kyoko Hoshikawa, one of the more experienced amongst the Japanese ranks today. Her 15th cap. Leslie McKenzie keen to blood some players and give those with young minutes a few more under their belt here today in the Asia Championship. They've got a Rugby World Cup to look forward to later this year, so every minute played is part of the bigger global picture for Japan. We've really found a disciplined and defensively destructive style over the last few months. We come back for a penalty for offside from Japan. That was Ayumu Kokaji of the Tokyo Sankyu Phoenix. Offside from the kick. So, a couple of early penalties for Kazakhstan to build upon, and Tatiana Krichinkina doesn't hesitate in finding touch. Plenty of noise and building pressure on the line-out throw. Pressure, what pressure? And now, Kazakhstan break away and rock and roll round the corner. Urgency from Drabovskaya at the base. And now Kazakhstan go wide. Lovely. Katerina Savina. It's a step on the carry from Xenia Kim. Looking to wrong foot the blitzing defense. Oh, just opened up the body, inviting it to be hit, but it's really well held by Melnikova. All these young players out there in turquoise today, turns 21 in August. Lovely soft hands linking up with Kamendrovskaya, the captain. But true to type, Japan hunting humans, battering back the Kazakhstanis in defense. Some lovely variation though to the range of passing from Kazakhstan, and they look incredibly well drilled and precise. Phases mounting up, but meters being lost with every carry. Olyankova is the latest to be tackled behind the gain line. Now it's Zamankulova, one of the 5 who was at the Rugby World Cup last time it was here in the Northern Hemisphere, but a big smash releases transition ball, and the Sakura 15 are as sharp as a samurai. Kanako Kobayashi sets upon the offload. after Japan pounce a crunching tackle. And fittingly, it was Kobayashi who made the hit, who reaped the rewards, and Japan are in for their opener. Leading point scorer last year across their 10 tests with 62 points. And opens the account nice and early. Ayasa Otsuka makes it a 7-pointer, courtesy of Kobayashi's defensive might and her work rate to get back on the ball in transition. Japanese backroom team afford themselves a modest smile, a try built on hungry defence. Kickoff sent long, and it's very well claimed. Awkward heights outside the 22, and now we're seeing Japan with fluent hands. Wonderful awareness to release and go again. Saya Nakamura, her first test start. Oh, and it's bounced and it jumbled awkwardly. And the shins of Kuchinga see the ball and her right foot, most tellingly, into touch, and Japan have a line out on the 10 of Kazakhstan. Up goes Korai, the captain. Oh, and a barnstorming burst from the number 8, Mizutani. Wrangled in eventually, but the ball is lightning, and they're gliding, and the support's there. Ameliua Havili Kagawa rounds off a sweeping move. The carved Kazakhstan. Japan have a second in almost as many minutes. Otsuka, 26 years old, celebrated that milestone just 10 days ago. 33rd time representing the Sakura. She's come out firing. 19 points last year in their last meeting against Kazakhstan, and she already has 4, converting the latest Japanese try, and again, a demonstration of Japan's awareness in releasing the ball when not held in the tackle and going for more. Ameliua Havili Kagawa, all she had to do was be waiting on the wings. Suka tries the ball. Kazakhstan return. Urgency on the press. Japan opt to go boot to ball instead of putting it through the hands, and they get a kind roll as well on this tough turf. Pichuyina, the number 8, carries offloads and has some support. is the other back row, Maria Grishina. Lastly, Anna Chebotta. Well, again, the feature of this opening 10 minutes or so has been the accuracy of the Japanese defense. And all Kazakhstan can do is find salvation in the touchline. A shot there of Fabian Yuri's, the former South Africa 7 star, watches on as Japan go through the moves. They don't knock it on as it slips from the grip of Kobayashi, but instead they come sweeping round the corner. But on this occasion, the imprecise, and it'll be a scrum to Kazakhstan. First opportunity to see the packs engage. Yurova, Kim, Kamandrovskia of Kazakhstan up against Komaki, Kokaji and Achida. Confrontational carry from the base from Pichugina. Gives Kazakhstan initial momentum, but the kickers falling into the hands, I was going to say, of the danger woman Nana Terakado. She feeds it to Otsuka, and Otsuka comes up with a rare error. Kazakhstan have improved their field position. A couple of late Japanese arrivals prove just enough to distract the accuracy of Zhenya Kim. But a quizzical look in her eyes, isn't necessarily convinced that that wasn't straight. So instead, Kazakhstan will defend their first scrum. Sorry, that was Yelena Yurova, I beg your pardon. 35-year-old World Cup veteran. Japan break from the base. Otsuka, very intricate handling and shapes arriving from depth. And now Japan are flying. Nishimura to Kagawa. Good pick up. Big forwards in the midfield, making dents for Japan. And again, the varied waves of Japan go siding through. Now Neo Ando on the recycle. Kazakhstan have got a loose arm in the tackle, so Japan back outside the 22, building through Machida. Show, go, support on the shoulder, second rows combining, and it'll only need one though. Mio Nishimura of Yokohama fired from the cannon. It was good support play. She had Saya Nakamura outside her. Good awareness and oozing confidence. And Mio Nishimura in for her first try of the match. Well, the easiest of the trio of conversions that Otsuka has had to line up was never going to trouble her. Japan lead Kazakhstan 21 points to 0. Quarter of an hour played. Chinkana. Picks out the sizable frame of Miharu Machida. Her first test start. Oh, it's a crunching blow that arrives from orbit, and the dislodged ball falls kindly into Kazakhstani hands. They sense a first score against Japan in 10 years.
Going forward and play a ball scrum.
Oh, that is tough. Having latched upon the ball, how about this for a shot? The right shoulder of Anna Melnikova, thundering into the Japanese midfield. Japan piling in bodies in the wake. Deemed that they were going forward, and they're put in.
Yeah, I on this side. Reset.
That is a fine kick, and a really troublesome one for Krochinkina to gather in, but she does so well. A looping ball almost lands. Stepanyaga in hot water, but shows good level of composure and equal feet to skip past the initial trouble. Confusion reigns as the offload game looks hurried and desperate. Battered back, Xenia Kim. Kazakhstan boot to ball, find a bit of green grass. Chase is decent as well from Savina, but the tackle doesn't stick. Instead, Kim arrives to help. Oh, there's a fluency and a fizz to the passing of Japan. As I say that, a ball slightly behind, forces a knock on. Kazakhstan will have the scrum. It was a disappointing sequence of results in 2024 for Japan. It rather masked the overall progress of the Sakura. It was just 3 wins from 10. And they actually went on their longest winless run in their history. However, their style and competitiveness and combativeness were all elements that were improved across the campaign. And there is real optimism about this Japanese program with Leslie McKenzie at the helm, but it's that coach there, Fabien Juries, who's He's looking on and looking for the answers and further confirmation of just how hot it is out there. 20-minute water breaks in effect here. It is perspiring work. A bit cooler work up there with an earpiece in, but Japan staff will be very, very pleased with what they've seen so far from these young charges. Just 3 in the starting 15, 25 and over.
All right, get ready.
Nana Talicado is just 20 out there on the left wing. We haven't had a chance to see the flyer studying and playing at the Japan University of Economics. She announced herself in some style with that try against the US. The one that put the result beyond any doubt. Quite a remarkable game, an epic. Here, leading 21 points. Atsuka shows a softness of hand. And now Kagawa is hunting for her second. Well tackled, almost wrestled across the touchline, but as Japan are building, another handling error creeps in, and this time it's from who you'd least expect, Ayasu Otsuka.
Last one much better. Good control.
A wonderful glimpse of the power of Meliyua Havili Kagawa on our third appearance in the Sakura jersey. Good carry in the midfield. Sets up the exit. That was a rocket. Well held. But only reaches Kagawa, who finds Nishimura, and in a flash, it's out into the 15-meter channel on the left wing. Scampering back goes Savina, who asks too much of her number 8, and it's chaos on the Kazakh try line. Hurried clearance. Finds a remarkable amount of time, but here's Kagawa. Tackled hard by Tulagenova. Just lifted into the space for Machida to rampage on. Second rows go to work. Nakamura, quick ball, back row, injecting themselves through Korai. Well, the numbers were there, and the line was begging. But again, Japan's handling let them down at the crucial moment. Route 1 through Nakamura. Now Machida, who looks a real handful at tight head. Hosokawa, forced to go to deck. But all along, the Cherry Blossoms had a penalty in their back pocket. Movement, and Nakamura sent airborne instead of forward, as she's been doing with great purpose so far. Through the heart of the breakdown goes the captain, and Sakurako Korai Makes it try number 4. She marks her first game as captain with a try. And Japan in complete control. Otsuka, and her radar is off for the first time from the tee, but a cushion to not fret too much about that missed effort. Bit of a sloppy passage for Japan with those handling errors, but they're back to scoring ways. Kazakhstan must re-steel themselves. Chida. Loss away. 2 would-be tacklers, one of them Maria Grishina. But the ball, again, not properly protected when carrying, and it's good disruptive play from the Kazakhstani defense. Targeted intentionally by Ekaterina Savina, the fly half. 24 years old. And they're stable at scrum time, and Kazakhstan are using it to flash down the right-hand side. Really good carry, but across came the captain of Japan to swallow Kazakhstan just as they were looking to make inroads, and then it's compounded by the knock-on from the experienced Zaman Kulova. Looks on. Doesn't give too much away facially. Territory opted for from Japan. They might even get a bit more if this hits the touchline. The 50-22 was on, but so too the charge. It's a hunger and an intensity to the manner in which Japan are chasing down their opposition. Skewed kick falls into the grip of Japan's scrum half, finds their open side, Hosokawa. Tsuka dictating things from 10. Unable to pick that one up, but a ball drifted over the top to the captain. Was always going forward anyway. And for all the flashes of brilliance from Japan, have been guilty of loose passages, maybe trying to force passes that aren't there. Asia Rugby Championships, integral piece of the Rugby World Cup preparation puzzle. We're in Pool C, alongside Ireland, New Zealand and Spain. Fearsome group to be boxed in. Ireland, who, of course, beat New Zealand in WXV1. And here is the young starlet. Tarakeda makes some good ground, brought down on the 10. And now just a bounce off the left foot from Ando. Almost skirts around the outside of her opposite woman. Instead, Japan are traveling back in field through Hosokawa.
Come play the 9. You have option. You got a penalty there for high tackle or high tackle number 13.
The ill discipline of Kazakhstan presents two separate opportunities for Otsuka. She chooses the one a little closer to the touchline, and her end goal of that right-hand corner. Just a little lazy from Veronika Stepanyaga. Huge malice, it's well stolen in the air, swiped back. Kazakhstan carry through Kim. Awkward coming together as the ball just refused to sit up. But eventually it does, and now Japan bursts forward into the 22. Machida, oh, is such a handful. The physical force at tight head makes another dent, and now it's time for the backs to play. Korai flashes a dummy, feeds the power, the aggression of Kagawa. She's still not there. Now it's Komaki. Turned 24 last Friday, but it's her who's gifted possession back to Kazakhstan. Real shame. As Japan were achieving some continuity there. Kazakhstan can only relieve the pressure momentarily because Nishimura and co are waiting deep. Now it's Tarakeda. Otsuka, can she pick the pass? She finds Kobayashi, who links up with Ando. Back on the ball, the outside centre. One additional roll. And a roll too many. It was right on the brink, and you could see Sunny Lee just analysing and deliberating whether that was natural in the way that she fell to the ground. But it's stubborn defence from Kazakhstan, that's for sure. And a few running repairs for the captain, Kamendrovskia.
日本代表選手の入れ替えをお知らせします。10番スタンドオフ大塚彩沙選手に代わりまして23番西有沙選手に入ります。
Fair bit of muscle to tend to there. Kazakhstan will need all of it for the full 80, if at all possible. Picked off at the tail. Mizutani, the sharpest forward in the line. Now it's Nakamura. Been full of industry in this first half, the second row. No try for her, but there may be one here for Nishimura. Oh, and just as Kazakhstan was scrambling, after the fine carry from Sora Nishimura, Hanan Seo on her first test start, and her handling lets her down. That's Arisa Nishi, who is making her debut. Turns 21 at the end of the month, and she's been granted an early birthday wish with a maiden bow in cherry blossom colours.
Okay, water's out, please.
Sakura, by the way, that does mean cherry blossom,
Time back on.
and it reflects beauty, grace, and fleeting nature.
Crouch.
Nickname of the Japan International Women's 15,
Set.
which works rather nicely in tandem with the brave blossoms of the men. Japan extend their stay in the Kazakhstan 22. Well, it was a sharp line-out drill. However, the pop off the top was undeserving of the quality of the throw-in. And an awkward ball for Anand Seo to gather. And Leslie McKenzie, well, she just said, wow, I think. Some unnecessary sloppiness. And there's certainly room to improve for this Japan 15. The scoreline be reasonably pleasing. 64-0 the last time these two met. And the contest travelling in the same vein.
Take him back.
Tatiana Kruchinkina has been pretty assured with that right boot. She's a solid defender as well. Well, again, that connection between Nakamura and Seo inexplicably breaking down. The line-out drill is excellent. There's no contest being offered by Kazakhstan. There's zero pressure on Nakamura.
I don't see a clear block action, but I will check next one. Okay. Okay, yeah, I checked. Time back on.
A lot of players out there earning just their second international cap. Jida, Nakamura, Seo, Tarakado.
Set.
22-year-old Alyona Drabovskaya releases the Kazakhstan backline.
Backward.
They leave the ball behind. Ball spilt backwards. Some dynamism offered by the back row in the tight channels. Pichugina linking up with Grishina. Oh! no way through. A double hit, consuming. Kazakhstan have carved out some room, and just as they look to free the hands out the back of the tackle, they lose control, and more driving bursts come in, this time from Nishi, who has a powerful first impact. Well, a hint maybe of a high tackle, serious foul play is the call, and well, you can see the collateral damage of Kazakhstan in the wake of another aggressive defensive set from Japan. Two players down, one receiving
Sunny, I'm going to show you the tackle.
treatment. Savina.
You're playing advantage for a high tackle. I'm going to show you that there's no clear head contact made by Japan number 6. So therefore no foul play.
It was a crunching shot.
We'll play back for a scrum in where we stopped.
I can confirm that there's no clear contact to the head. It's all on the chest. No foul play.
Okay.
We start with the scrum.
Okay, yep. Sorry.
Sunny Lee, after consultation with TMO Morgan Wright,
Captain!
to the field, and it'll just be a scrum.
Captain! We checked the tackle there. There is no clear head contact. It's on the chest, so no foul play. We'll play back to the scrums there. Your ball, Kazakhstan ball, scrum. There. Yeah. No foul play. Time back on. Crouch. Bind. Sit.
The scrum's been solid for Kazakhstan all game, and it once more provides a platform. Savina's shaken off that knock and flows forward. It's a cute kick that spins Japan. They probably just wanted that to stay in. And Arisa Nishi is likely the most relieved to see that just scramble across the touchline. Last 100 seconds of the first half. This time, Nakamura gets it right with Seo. Nishimura, one try already for the other second row. Forges ahead. Oh, it's a mischievous bouncing ball, all the bad bits of the odd-shaped rugby ball. Coming to the fore for Kazakhstan. When pressed, find safety in the touchline through Savina. And they've got another minute to survive. Nakamura again, the strike woman. Just wonder, with that midfield opening up, could it have gone? Machida takes some tackle to fell her. Looked like it may have been high, but the hands are going to do the work. And inevitably, oh no, Nana Taricado is denied. Long, rangy pass, fizzed across the face. And Hinata Komaki of the Tokyo Sankyu Phoenix storms across.
Hold the kick, please. You got TMO check.
Japan have their 5th. Or do they? TMO check.
Tackle
Before the
by
score is
Kazakhstan,
ratified.
number 12.
Well, the try's going to stand, regardless. But they're looking at the tackle from Anna Melnikova.
Yeah.
And it's on Machida. Well, it's certainly clumsy and awkward.
Yeah, your other angle's coming now.
And it's definitely high. One thing's for sure is that
she absorbs the
she
impact.
comes off second best.
So there is foul play. The tackle is upright. The head contact is direct. However, I think most of the force land on the chest, so the degree of danger is not high. I'm thinking a yellow card to go. Agree? Agree? Okay, Morgan, I have a decision.
Yeah, back on the ref.
So there is foul play because the tackle is upright. And there is a direct head contact. However, most of the force land on the chest.
Kazakhstan 12,
the degree of danger is not high. I'm thinking a yellow card to go 12.
Yeah, I agree with those facts.
Okay, thank you. Goal number 12. 12.
Anna Melnikova
Head contact.
sees yellow in Kazakhstan.
Okay. You can do the kick.
We'll see out the remainder of the first half with 14. And they will start the second half most crucially. The first 10 minutes of it. With one less player. Sora Nishimura lines up the conversion. A changing kicker from the only player to retain her place from the starting 15 against the USA. And she can't get her kicking campaign up and running with a successful one. However, it is a successful first 40 minutes of rugby for the Sakura 15. Half-time here in Fukuoka in the opening match of the Asia Rugby Women's Championship. Japan 31, Kazakhstan 0. Here was the opening score. It was a lusty hit from Kanako Kobayashi. And then bounced to her feet to get onto the end of sharp offloading play in transition. Next there was the turn of Meliyua Havili Kagawa. And Japan, at this stage, through Mio Nishimura, was scoring at will, and you feared for the Kazakhstani scoreboard. However, they've been dogged and determined. The women from Central Asia. But Sakurako Korai, the captain, marked her first test time as captain with a try. And with another added late in the first half. Japan lead Kazakhstan 31 points to 0 at half-time.
5月20日火曜日には女子香港チャイナ代表対女子カザフスタン代表、そして25日日曜日には女子日本代表対女子香港チャイナ代表の試合が同じくジャパンベースにて13時00分より行われます。こちらの試合もぜひご来場の上応援をお願いいたします。
and organizers experiencing the game in this multicultural region. Home to more than half the world's population and an incredible 80% of its youth, Asia Rugby has grown from holding just one tournament every 2 years to running more than 15 international competitions each and every year, culminating in the iconic Asia Rugby Championship and the Asia Rugby 7 Series. Asia Rugby continues to grow the game through initiatives like Get Into Rugby, initiatives that have helped us expand our player base by more than 25% per year, initiatives designed to empower our kids with the knowledge and skills necessary to develop great players and inspire positive social change. Asia Rugby is a diverse collection of cultures bound together by our core values of integrity, passion, solidarity, discipline, and respect, driving our belief that rugby makes a positive contribution to people's lives. Asia Rugby is taking our great game, its spirit, and everything it stands for to over half the world's population. And we invite you to be part of it. Asia Rugby. We can do better, but together.
Our world is growing, and so is rugby. There are more players, more teams, more matches than ever before. Luckily, our game is simple. We only really need one thing to play it, and we buy millions of them every year. Unfortunately, too many end up in the wrong place. But some balls are made better. Rhino's recycled range is made with up to 80% recycled rubber. We are still not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. You only need a ball, make it a good one. For rugby, for you, for the planet.
A ball for the planet.
A ball for the planet. A ball for the planet.
The Rhino recycled range. A ball for the planet.
Welcome back to the second half of the opening fixture of this year's Asia Rugby Emirates Women's Championship. Japan leading Kazakhstan 31 points to 0. Kick off the second half with the travelling team here in Fukuoka, starting the second half with just 14, and also ringing the changes with Victoria Kuznetsova and Svetlana Malazhina onto the field. But it is a similar story to how the first half started and finished. Japan on the charge, carrying through their forwards. Slips through the grip. It wasn't intended for Ayumu Kokaji, but she didn't hesitate when opportunity knocked. And the hooker careers over the line and underneath the uprights. And it's another try for the Sakura 15 against Kazakhstan. Didn't land her first, but Sora Nishimura is on the board with a simple chip from in front of the post after lightning quick work from the restart. Ayumu Kokaji swift to react to the ball that slipped through the fingers of her teammate. Made the absolute most of it. Japan 38, Kazakhstan 0. 2 minutes of the second half played. High, hanging restart into the arms of the lively Sakura Mizutani, who on debut has looked right at home in the international ranks today. Well, Japan have restarted this match with the refreshed zip in the way that they're playing their rugby. Nishimura trying the first half, can't quite release the offload, but it's a nice tool reach from Nishimura to keep things going and continue the momentum out to the right. Japan looking good as the forwards again combine in the midfield, and Komaki. We got the try at the end of that first half, finds herself isolated in the 22, but it's a penalty to Japan. They're not hanging around. Tempo clearly the basis of the halftime team talk as Kagawa is swatted en route to the line. Back-to-back penalties, and on this occasion, Seo not with the license to go quick. Instead, Nishimura will knock this into the corner. Well, should have knocked it into the corner, but instead, Japan have a line out 10 meters from the Kazakhstan line. Played by Nakamura, who is the lighthouse they aim for. And the first sight of a driving maul, and it is going to be a devastating one. The ball spilt backwards, then latched upon by the woman who claimed it in the skies initially, Saya Nakamura. That's what her second row partner did in the first half. Gets herself a try. And it is quick fire from the Sakura in this second half. It should have really been finished there by Kokaji to make it a second half brace. Unfortunately for her, Seiya Nakamura, who was impressed on her first test start, crashed across for Nishimura. To add a second conversion impressively. Japan now lead Kazakhstan 45 points to nil. 45 minutes and a bit of change on the clock. Awkward ball scrambles along the ground, but Neo Ando plays a rugby for the Brave Lupus. Presents an opportunity for Zenia Kim to get absolutely demolished by what feels like a trademark double hit from the Japanese. They had the best defense at WXV2. They're the most disciplined side, fewest penalties across the entire tournament down in South Africa. As I say that, they concede one. They made the most tackles of any one nation in a single match against Wales down in South Africa at the back end of last year for WXV. A tournament Kazakhstan weren't involved in across all three tranches. They were at the inaugural WXV, WXV3 in Dubai. Had something of a torrid time. Big, heavy defeats to Ireland and Fiji, but they did claim victory against the Lionesses of Kenya. Malajina, the one advancing forward, but all of a sudden it's her backs who are in reverse. The Panyaga nowhere to go. As the Japanese tackles continue to race up, laser focused. These Sakura defenders, again, double hits, making the going particularly tough. Ricochet off the knees. Advantage there to be played for Kruchinkina and co. Grabowskia shifts focus to the narrow side. Lovely deft handling from Yelena Yurova. No way through for Pichugina, who has caught the eye. And for the first time in a long time, the Japanese miss a tackle. Kaneko Kobayashi, the guilty party, was her bone-crunching hit in the first minutes that set up her try to open the scoring. Turnover for Japan to work with. Instead of looking to go wide, Kagawa goes it alone round the fringe. Kaji. Room behind, interesting kick, chases on. No advantage coming from the penalty. It was already in the bank for a tackle that slips high. Her tackle more than slips high. Kazakhstan and Anna Melnikova 14, remember, and while Kamendrovskia is the player down injured, it's her a little more scrutiny from the TMO and Sunny Lee, the referee. Melenkova reinstated to the field. Japan bring the changes.
日本代表選手の入れ替えをお知らせします。1番プロップ小牧ひなた選手に代わって17番吉田奈美選手、4番ロック中村沙耶選手に代わって19番松永美穂選手、14番ウィング香川メレイワハビリ選手に代わって22番安尾琴乃選手に代わって。
So wholesale changes. Just as touch is almost mercifully missed. It can't be gathered in. Japan will have position A here to seek a third in this young second half. Instead of a line out, they get the option to take the scrum.
Yeah, 5-5.
Well, it's an early shove from Japan by the looks of the direction of travel, but Sunny Lee feels that Kazakhstan didn't take the hit.
More control on side.
So we'll have a scrum reset.
Crouch! Boy! Sit!
Ball races back to the feet of the 8, and already it's in the hands of Kobayashi. Outstanding jackling work, but ushered away. The replacements making a dent. Huge forwards at high velocity, hurtling round the corner. And Miho Matsunaga on debut, first touch in a Japanese jersey, and it's a try underneath the uprights. Well, that's how you do it on debut. Onto the field for mere seconds. She brings up the half century here in Fukuoka. More success from the team for Nishimura. Leslie McKenzie, looking on from her vantage point, will be mightily pleased with the 21-point start that her Sakura have made in the opening 12.5 minutes of this second half.
Faster, please!
Chinkana sends one up for her team to chase, and well, the try scorer is now just swallowing up meters, finds an offload on the swivel inside. The but the support isn't a match to the break that was made by Matsunaga. It's been quite the introduction for Miho Matsunaga.
For me, when you said you're already turning, you keep strict, I watch them, okay?
Who is studying to be a nurse at Yokohama Mirai Nursing School alongside her rugby. Kazakhstan under pressure. Melnikova doing well despite just blue jerseys on her horizon. Well, the jackal was good, but the roll from her teammate wasn't swift enough. We'll come back for the penalty. Meaty hit from Ayumu Kakaji, but Kazakhstan keep coming. They thrash through the challenges of the remainder of the front row. Miharu Machida, one of the bodies in there. Plenty of length on the clearance, but only able to pick out Arisa Nishi, who gets herself caught in two minds and gets herself pinged on the floor. She was rather caught in two minds there, wasn't she? Whether to use the support outside her or run it alone, and in the end she did neither. Found herself travelling naturally. It was all credit to Tatiana Kruchinkina. Chased hard, and such is her way, made her hit. Most tackles for Kazakhstan at WXV3 a couple of years ago. That's for the nation as a whole, made more than anyone in the tournament. Training ground play from the line out. Opens things up momentarily for Yurova. Now to the second layer of attack they go, trying to get it to the edge. They've got speed out there. Kim, the latest Kazakhstani to receive the double shoulder treatment. Matsunaga and Machida working in tandem. Japan travel down the narrow side. Another newbie, Katana Yasuo, puts boot to ball, and it's an interesting, well-weighted kick, and tip of the hat to Aliona Drabowska, who was under all sorts of pressure but kept a cool head to lay the platform for the kick and the chase. Tarakedo takes play up to the 22. Now it's Nishimura, the fullback. It's a classy operator and has stood in at first receiver as well since Otsuka left the field. Seo hesitates for a moment, but then finds her forwards. Matsunaga, one of them. Line against the grain, the late change of direction, almost the undoing of the Kazakhstanis. Now it's Yoshida. Another on debut from Yokohama. Machida, her first test start, but looks like she may be a fixture for years to come. Slips through the grip, but Ando's there to retrieve.
High tackle number 15.
No advantage had come from the original high tackle. Well, yes. Wasn't 15 though, that was
so I go inside the 20.
Veronica Stepaniuga with the clothesline. A great deal of force, more a lazy arm.
Japan substitution.
More changes for Japan. And straight into it for Haruna Kojima. Another making her maiden test bow. Linking up with her teammate Yoshida from Yokohama. And Kojima may just continue this trend of scoring with first touches. She has to concede the ball, and Yasuo almost skips through, darting back inside. Oh, that felt like it had to go with all the room out there, but instead Nishi dummies and drives. Seal. Matsunaga tries to turn creator on this occasion, but from the ensuing breakdown spills forward and we come back for the penalty advantage, and no doubt a warning.
I tackle and that from the side, and then if you don't keep the discipline, next one will go yellow card. Okay, thank you. Can I? Yes, take your time.
Natalia Kamandrovskia. Afforded the time to impress upon her teammates the gravity
Captain, okay.
of what another penalty
penalty
concession could mean. Also, timely opportunity to get some additional fluids on board.
Coming from the side, number 5 in the mold.
Stay on the line, stay on the line.
On the 15, yes. Scrum call. Yes.
Scrum called by the Sakura, and there is a large and threatening blindside looming. Katano Yasuo. He's there, one-on-one to the right of this clinch between the packs. Seal goes open, goes to Kobayashi, who links up with Ando. The two centres have been outstanding today. And Nao Ando is the latest Sakura to get her name on the score sheet. It was pretty simple. Kobayashi to the line, Ando on the shoulder. Try time for Japan. Nishimura makes no mistake from right in front. Another pair of points to burnish the scoreboard yet further. As Leslie McKenzie looks on pleasingly as we stop for an enforced water break halfway through the half.
日本代表選手の入れ替えをお知らせします。3番プロップ町田美春選手に代わって18番佐高由香選手、9番スクラムハーフ瀬尾アナ選手に代わって21番山中美代選手が入ります。
Hong Kong, China await Kazakhstan in 5 days' time here at the Japan base. And if form and rankings go to plan, then that would set up a championship showdown with Japan on the 25th of May. Japan will have fond memories of having played Hong Kong, China. It's a great rivalry that they have, but it was the combination of victory over Kazakhstan and Hong Kong, China last year that not just claimed the Asia Rugby crown, but it also secured WXV2 and Rugby World Cup qualification. It's a huge year for Japanese women's rugby. Victory over the USA for the first time just weeks ago, and now a Rugby World Cup to prepare for. Prior to that, they'll welcome Spain for a 2-test warm-up tour. They'll be playing Las Leonas in July in Kitakyushu, and then lastly at the iconic Prince Chichibu in Tokyo. And after a fluid bit of handling and width to width, the move breaks down with Moi Nagaoka, the replacement wearing 20, unable to hold on to that final pass.
More control on the set, okay? Crouch! Point! Set! You're set!
Well, it just set up the ribs for a tickle from the right shoulder of Kobayashi.
Thank you.
It's a forward pass in there anyway, as the timing just marginally broke down between Savina and Stepaniaga.
Yeah, but for me, it's your angle. You're angling in, that's why I call you set. I don't penalize it because you got the ball. But if you keep it strict, I would
15
check
minutes
them.
remaining.
For me, they were good so far.
Kazakhstan 0, Japan 59. Kazakhstan
Sorry, this side, please. Crouch!
be looking now to avert another pointless test match.
Set!
They've been kept pointless 5 of their last 6 international tests, and it's looking like it may be another today. The mood that Japan are in and the energy that has been delivered from the bench. Yasuo accelerating almost to the 22, but the recycle ball is so fast, the handling deft The timing impeccable. Korai, the captain, swerving her way in for her second. And she is having a day to remember. On the occasion of her first game as national captain.
Thank you.
Curled in rather nicely by Sora Nishimura.
Time off. Subs.
And Japan have now surpassed the score with which they beat Kazakhstan last time they met, just shy of a year ago at the King Sports Ground in Hong Kong. And this is particularly notable as far as Japan are concerned, when you look at just how young this side is, the inexperience at international level. The likes of Iroha Nagata, Haruka Hirotsu, Minori Yamamoto and Seno Sato. None of them in this match day 23.
Retreat, please! Retreat! Retreat! Five, stop!
4 debuts on the bench, number of first test starts. And also a debut to Sakura Mizutani. So it's a glimpse into the future of Japanese women's rugby, and you have to tip your hat to the work done by Leslie McKenzie to this point, and also the domestic league, which slowly but surely is beginning to flourish and produce some excellent players. Even attracted a number of foreign international stars as well. Janet Shibashokelo of Kenya coming over to ply her club trade here. And there's a hunger about this youthful group. And a fair bit of brutality as well in the manner in which they carry. The arrival of Nishi is one at pace, and Yasuo is wider, tight to the touchline. Matsunaga, prominent ever since coming on in the black head guard. Looping ball to Sadaka, but she shows herself to be a cool customer, and skating inside into the heavier traffic is Tarakedo. Wonder could she have pinned her ears back and just gone it alone into the corner. Instead, Japan continue to build their assault from within the Kazakhstan 22. Wrapping round the corner, more soft hands from Sadaka, 18 on her back, but playing like a 10. She gets the assist. Japan get yet another try. And Nishimura gets her second of the match.
One step. Thank you.
Nomiya Nishimura. 6th cap. 2 tries for the Yokohama Lock. And her namesake, Sora, who plays for Fukuoka Limited team. That's what she's done every time, bar her first attempt. Slots the conversion and further enhances the scoreboard in Japan's favour. Changes have been rung now for Kazakhstan. And Ayalim Bakitek is on wearing 21, just 17 years old. A big day for the young replacement scrum half. Full front row replacement as well for Kazakhstan, Simakova, Shakyova and Balabina, who herself is only 19, are on, and Tarakado doesn't afford Krochinkina much room there. Charge down, Kazakh ball, but all the pressure being exerted on the touring side once again. Daria Simakova, one of the most physically imposing amongst the Kazakhstani ranks, wraps around and she almost goes for a canter, but instead she's turned over. Matsunaga turns provider this time. Oh, it's a loose ball from Neo Ando. That was a try begging to be scored. Carelessness with the handling in truth.
12 and 13 subs.
Wonderful turnover. Sora Nishimura, a class act. Amina Sharap there, 18-year-old, and Angelina Kuznetsova, another teenager. 5 of them on the Kazakhstani bench. Well, instinctive offloading from Kojima doesn't quite work out as intended. Japan and their captain Korai keep coming. Now it's the turn of Yoshida. Every Japanese player desperate to get their hands on the ball and make an impact. Sadaka has certainly done so with her handling. And this time, it is all about the handling. Kitano Yasuo crashes across. The 23-year-old has been a lively presence since coming on. And on this occasion, Neo Ando finds her with the pass. And Yasuo cruises home for try number 12. Well, had the direction, just need a little more juice from Sora Nishimura. I think we'll let her off, given her all-court display. Difficult to point a finger negatively at any Japanese player. You have to tip your hat to the Kazakhstanis, who have fought valiantly and it is also absolutely paramount to impress upon everyone tuning in that this is just their 11th test since the turn of the decade. I said 13 earlier in the broadcast, but that was including the 2 against Georgia that were earlier this year, but I believe that they've not been counted as official tests. So it's a international women's program. It's very much on the rebuild. They pulled a lot of resources and a lot of focus into 7s. And the 15s is on its way back. But across that time, nations like Japan have been putting their foot to the floor, investing time, money, resources, and also elevating the notoriety of the sport. And they've got a really exciting young crop of players coming through now, Japan. And on this occasion, for what feels the first time, their line-out malfunctions. Kick, though, is instantaneously gathered in by Nageoka, and Matsunaga has had a barnstormer since rising from the pine. The second try for the debutant. And the studying nurse dishes out a little more try-scoring medicine to the Kazakhstanis. Assisted by Nishimura, who has a brace herself. And Sora Nishimura slots another. Japan 85, Kazakhstan 0. Final 3 minutes of the match. Bruising blow arrived from the shoulder of Malazina. But Japan have so much running in their legs. They've got so much zip in their hands. And the shapes are flooding forward once more from the dark blue jerseys. It's thrilling handling to watch. Slick and crisp. But there's also a directness and abrasiveness with the likes of Yuka Sadaka. Bit of instinct now. Rolling the attacking dice, chancing their arm. A dummy sold by the debutant who almost slinks through. Mizutani would be worthy of a try here in the closing stages. Nice footwork from Nageoka. Yamanaka feeds at high pace her captain Sakurako Korai, who goes crashing home for a hat-trick. It was a blitzkrieg attack. Electric, quick ball and service. The Kazakhstan defense scrambling and in disarray, fractures forming. And against the grain, Sakurako Korai, who's gone about her business quite brilliantly all match. Makes it 3 tries for her personal haul. Nishimura just skews that one on a hoik. Japan at 90. It's the final play of this opening match of the Asia Rugby Emirates Women's Championship. And I wonder, do Japan fancy just one more? The answer is no. They're content with their haul of 90 points. Dominant from start to finish. This young crop of Sakura players has made a statement in the opening match of Asia Rugby Emirates Women's Championship 2025. They defeated Kazakhstan 90 points to 0. Plenty of tries to choose from as these two great sides of Asian rugby went toe-to-toe once more. 6 times champions Japan taking on the 5-time winners Kazakhstan, but it's the reigning champions who got off to a flyer and really set the tone. The big hit from Kobayashi, and it was her to round off the move-in transition before Meliyua Havili Kagawa got on the end of some pretty crisp handling. But it wasn't all about the backs. This one was outstanding all game. Mio Nishimura scored the first of what would become 2 tries for the second row. And then it started raining tries from the get-go in the second half. Ayumu Kakaji latching on to a pass, and while it was her who was then latched on at the back of this driving maul, failed to maintain control. But fortunately for her, Sai Nakamura, who had claimed the line out in the skies, was there to pounce. Great impact came from the bench, no more so than Miho Matsunaga, who scored with her first touch of the ball on international debut. And in amongst all of that was a hat-trick from the captain, Sakurako
放送席、会場の皆さん、高麗選手にお越しいただきました。若い選手が多い中でしたけども、素晴らしい勝利でした。どういうふうに振り返りますか？
合わせる時間とか合宿の期間がすごく短い中でカザフスタン戦だったんですけど、チーム内でたくさんコミュニケーションを取って、私たちが目指す爆速ラグビーっていうのを体現できたかなと思います。
爆速ラグビーっていうのはチームの中でどういうラグビーだというふうに捉えてるんですか？
選手登録は23人なんですけど、28人で今合宿しているんですけど、28人で全員で、桜15ではビッグバンっていうものがあるんですけど、それを28人全員で、体現する、グラウンドでも練習でも体現するっていうのが爆速ラグビーです。 アタックのセットだったりとかディフェンスのセットだったりとかタックルした後のリロードだったりとかいろいろなところで爆発的に速く動くっていうことを意味しています。
今日の出来はどうでした？今日のその爆速ラグビーの出来は？
最初の15人がしっかり爆速を体現してキックオフから、速いアタックとディフェンスで、トライをたくさん取れたことが良かったと思います。
最後次に向けて抱負を聞かせてください。
はい、次の香港戦では、合わせる時間がすごい多いので、もっとみんなとタイトになりながら、少し多いエラー、ハンドリングエラーとか細かなミスが多かったのでそこを修正して、もっといいラグビーをしていきたいなと思います。
ありがとうございました。おめでとうございます。
So the captain, Sakurako Korai, also the player of the match with a hat-trick against Kazakhstan as Japan crushed Kazakhstan 90 points to 0 in the opener of this year's Asia Rugby Emirates Women's Championship.
プレイヤーオブザマッチの表彰を行います。日本代表6番高麗桜子選手にはマッチボールが贈られます。贈呈いただきますのはアジアラグビーマッチオフィシャルマネージャーのギルロイ・エルナンドです。大きな拍手をお願いいたします。
Confirmation of her player of the match accolade. A dynamo in all that she did, Korai. And the day to remember, the first time captaining her nation, a hat-trick scored, and the best player on the park.
以上でプレイヤーオブザマッチの表彰を終わります。本日は女子アジアラグビーエミレーツチャンピオンシップ2025へご来場いただき誠にありがとうございま
A smiles all round for the Sakura 15 and a chasing affair for the women of Kazakhstan, who came here battling against the backdrop of lack of match practice, not just in 2025 but across the last decade as a whole, really. They only get together to train en masse 3 or 4 times a year, despite having 5 who played in the 2014 Rugby World Cup, unable to hold a candle to the defensive destruction and attacking precision of Japan's Sakura 15. They will be back, though, in action here in Fukuoka in just a matter of days. This 3-team tournament taking place exclusively at the Japan base, the National High Performance Rugby Centre here in Kyushu, which is the southern island of Japan. Kazakhstan will be taking on Hong Kong, China, as we get our opportunity to see them perform for the first time in the competition before they round off their visit to the southern island of Japan against the host, Japan, who, with that resounding victory today and their historic win last month against the USA, the first time in their history, clearly and markedly the team to beat.